What is an LLM? Now, if you watched my episode on AI, you kind of know how these things were built. But if you haven't seen it yet, here's the quick version. An AI reads an incomprehensible amount of human-generated text, it finds the pattern, and it learns to predict what comes next. I mean, that's great, but what can you do with that? Well, turns out a lot. And that thing you do with it has a name. It's called a large language model, or LLM for short. And there's a very good chance you've already used one without knowing what it was called. So you know how your phone has autocomplete when you're texting? You start typing, "I'll be there in," and it suggests 5 minutes, or a little while, or something that roughly sounds like you. An LLM is that, except instead of learning from your texts, it learned from almost the entire written internet. Every single book it can find, scientific papers, news articles, legal briefs, recipe blogs, it reads everything it can get its hands on. Digested, pattern recognized, and now it can predict with remarkable accuracy what a helpful, articulate, well-informed response to your question would look like. And now by default, it's not looking anything up. It's not connected to a big giant brain somewhere. It's completing the pattern at a level of sophistication that can almost feel indistinguishable from understanding. Now, yeah, some tools have a live search layer on top, but that's a separate feature, not how the underlying model works. That's where the magic is, and that's also the trap, and we're going to get to both. But first, let's talk about what these things can genuinely do, because the list is getting longer than most people realize, and it's getting longer every day. I mean, first of all, we have writing. Staring at a blank page is one of the most paralyzing feelings there is. Whether it's a presentation, a tricky email to your boss, a cover letter, or something you've just been putting off for 3 weeks. Tell it what you're trying to say, and it'll give you a draft to react to, which is about 1,000 times easier than starting from nothing. Plus, they can rhyme. They've never heard a spoken word, but they can drop a little freestyle about anything you want. And it'll rewrite something 10 times if you ask it to, without saying it's too busy, or what it gave you the first time was fine. And of course, they can do research. Do you need to understand a medical diagnosis? It'll explain it to you whatever level you want, like you're 12 or like you have a PhD, or if you just need to know what questions to ask your doctor. You have a big fat legal document you need to review? Tell it what you're worried about or what you need explained in plain English, and it'll walk you through it. Do you need a summary of a 200-page report before a meeting in an hour? Done. And when it comes to fact-checking and verification, some of these tools, like Gemini in particular, are built with live search baked in. So you can ask it to check a claim, track down a source, or tell you what's changed since the last time you looked something up. And for developers, there's this version of Claude called Claude Code that's built specifically for writing and debugging software. This thing can write production quality code, it catches errors, and it explains what it's doing. It's become genuinely essential for a lot of working programmers. And then you got images. ChatGPT can generate images right inside the conversation. You describe what you want, and it builds it. Gemini can do it too. And this isn't clip art. We're talking about creative, usable, original visuals just from a text description. And how about music? Gemini can generate music. You hum a style, you describe a mood, you name an instrument, it'll build something. And that's pretty amazing. And of course, data and spreadsheets. You drop in a spreadsheet and ask it questions like, what's the trend here? Which one of these is the outlier? Summarize this for a non-finance audience. It'll read the data and tell you what it means in plain English. Now, my personal favorite example in all of this, have you ever tried to find a recipe online? You know what I'm talking about. You type in banana bread and you get 14 paragraphs about someone's grandmother, her kitchen in Vermont, the specific smell of autumn, a meditation on loss, and then you get the recipe after 2 ads for stand mixers. An LLM will skip all of that. You can say, I want to make banana bread. I have 3 bananas that are about to turn. I'm out of butter. Can I use coconut oil? And how do I cut the sugar? My oven runs hot and I'm making muffins, not a loaf of bread. What do I do? An LLM will answer all of that in one response without a word about summer with grandma. I mean, I asked it how to make bread one time, and it offered to walk me through the steps, from proofing the yeast, the temperature of the water, first and second rise, pretty much the whole thing. Now, I know what this sounds like. These things have $1 billion brain, and I'm using it to make banana bread. It sounds stupid even as I'm saying it. But now, the reason I brought it up is because it's not about the bread. It's about the fact that you can ask it anything. How cheese is made, why your tomatoes aren't producing, what was going through Mary Shelley's head when she was writing Frankenstein, and it'll give you a real answer, not just a Wikipedia summary. Your favorite rock band? It knows the deep cuts, the B-sides, the falling out between the drummer and the lead singer in 1987. Whatever you're curious about, it's there. It's patient, knowledgeable, and never condescending. That's the part a lot of people don't expect. It's not a tool, it's a conversation. Now, here's where it gets interesting because there isn't just one LLM. There are a couple major ones that you've probably heard of, and they're not the same. I mean, they're not even close. So let me introduce you to the main players, and I'll be honest with you, this field is moving fast, so by the time you're watching this, some of the details may have shifted, but the personalities, those have been pretty consistent. And yes, there are others, I can't cover them all, I'm just going to give you an overview of the main 4 that are out there. First up is ChatGPT, from a company called OpenAI, probably the one you've heard of the most. It's the all-rounder. It's good at almost everything. It's the one that most people try first, and for a lot of people, it's the one they stick with. It's got the biggest ecosystem, integrations, tools, custom versions built for specific jobs. It's kind of the Swiss Army knife of AI assistants. Then we got Claude from a company called Anthropic. This is the one that developers and writers tend to reach for when precision matters. It's strong at reasoning through complex problems, analyzing long documents, and writing that actually sounds like a person wrote it. It's not trying to impress you, it's just trying to be useful and accurate. And then we got Gemini from Google. This one grew up with search in its DNA. It has deep ties to Google's ecosystem, your Gmail, your Drive, your calendar. It's really strong at pulling current information and working with images, documents, and data side by side. And then there's Grok from XAI. This is the one with fewer guardrails by design. Real-time access to what's happening on social media right now. It's fast, it's unfiltered, an honest, direct personality that doesn't pull too many punches. Let me put it this way. Grok is that guy at the party who openly admits he wants to date your sister. You appreciate the honesty, you're just not sure you'd trust him alone with her. Now, none of these is definitely the best. They're different tools built by different teams with different philosophies. But I mean, feel free to try them out. Most of them are free to start. See what fits with how you think and which one you like best. Now here's something worth knowing that most people haven't thought of yet, because now there are LLMs being trained specifically for medicine. They're not trained on the general internet. They don't go through every weird subreddit. They don't read Sarah Silverman's book. They are trained on clinical data, medical journals, patient records, drug interactions, the entire accumulated written knowledge of modern medicine, specifically and carefully. And the same thing is happening in law. Legal LLMs are trained on case law, contracts, statute. They are built to think the way a lawyer thinks, not the way a general assistant thinks. And then you got finance, education, defense, cybersecurity. The list is growing. The question isn't whether these tools are coming into your professional life. They already have. The question is whether you understand what they are. Okay, I've been pretty enthusiastic about these things, but it's time to pull the other thread. Because here's what an LLM is not doing, even when it sounds like it is. It's not reasoning the way you and I do. It's not checking its own work against reality. It's completing a pattern, a very sophisticated, very well-trained pattern, but it's still a pattern. And sometimes, not always, not even often, but sometimes, the pattern leads somewhere wrong. And when it does, the LLM doesn't know it. It states the wrong thing with exactly the same confidence as it states the right thing. And there's a word for this. It's called hallucination. That is the technical term in the field, and it's a pretty good one. The LLM isn't lying to you. It's not trying to mislead you. It does what it always does. Complete the pattern. And the pattern led to something that sounds completely right and is completely wrong. And yeah, this has caused some real problems. Lawyers have submitted briefs to actual courts citing cases that sounded completely real. You got the proper names, proper dates, proper citation format. Problem is that they never existed. The LLM filled in the pattern of what a legal citation looks like, and the lawyer didn't check. You got medical information presented with clinical-sounding confidence that only a doctor would immediately recognize as being wrong, or historical fiction stated with the same authority as things that actually happened. I was writing a piece on Al Capone, and the LLM said that he got the nickname Scarface from giving someone a scar on his face, which is completely wrong. He got that nickname because he got a scar from making an inappropriate comment about a guy's sister. But hey, it sounded good, right? The tool doesn't know it's wrong. It just sounds right. And that's the part you have to keep in your head every time you use one. So here's basically what an LLM is. It's a prediction engine trained on human language at a scale we've never seen before. It's the most useful research assistant, writing partner, teacher, coder, and sounding board most of us will ever have access to. And it will occasionally, confidently, tell you something that just is not true. Use it like a brilliant friend who happens to know a lot about almost everything, but who occasionally makes things up and doesn't realize it. For recipes, drafts, explanations, brainstorming, coding, images, music, the first pass at almost anything, it's remarkable. For a medical decision, a legal document, a financial choice, a serious relationship decision, anything where being wrong has real consequences, you need to verify with a human who knows. I mean, the tool is extraordinary. Just don't let it be the last word. Now, hallucinations are the most visible problem right now, but they're not the only one worth understanding. There's a whole conversation about where this technology is going. Like voice cloning, deepfakes, things are already happening and worth knowing about before you need to know about them. I'm going to have a whole episode on that, the dangers of AI. And I'll give you some tips on how to keep yourself from getting scammed. But now before you go, you might be asking, is this Skynet? Are the machines coming? No, not even close. The average LLM isn't threatened by you. It just wants to finish your sentence or answer your question. Now, the incidents you may have read about, like AI systems acting outside their instructions, these are researchers pushing the edge on purpose to see what happens. Which is, of course, worth paying attention to. It's genuinely interesting. That episode is next. Thank you very much, and as always, now you get it.